Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode from the Hermitcraft server. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a pretty good day. You may notice different intro music, and you may also notice different or potentially no music for the rest of the video after the intro song. Today's going to be a talky episode, and we're going to talk about that. For those of you who are new viewers, because I know there are some people who are new to me, with Hermitcraft Season 6, every now and again, once in a while, I will do what I call a talky episode, which is basically just where I talk and or ramble about a topic for the length of an episode. I usually don't do too much as far as actual progress goes, because I know that some people don't really like the talky episodes. So if it's not your thing, like, that's okay. You're not going to miss too much. Basically what we're going to do, I talked with Exuma, and he's totally good with the idea of these retaining walls. So I'm going to do some work on these while I ramble on about the topic for today's talky episode, and that is the music in my videos and YouTube's completely broken content ID system. So, yeah, fun stuff. Basically, I use music from a couple different artists in all of my videos. And it's kind of, just a very mellow, kind of acoustic, folky background music. That's how it's been for quite some time, and that's how it will continue to be if I can find more music. One of the artists that I use is Josh Woodward, who is a absolutely fantastic artist. Has all of his music available on his website for free. It's all royalty-free. He has it all licensed under Creative Commons Attribution, which essentially means you can use it in videos, commercial or non-commercial, as much as you want, as long as you credit him in the description of the videos. So that's pretty straightforward and very, very common. There's many artists out there who do royalty-free music. That's what I use in all of my videos because it's not licensed by some sort of major label, and therefore, I'm able to use it without having to worry too much. We are going to make a minor change to this retaining wall design, by the way, these pathways. I don't think the stone slabs is a good idea because it's just going to be too much. It looks fine on these like thinner paths, but it's not going to look good on very large platforms. So I think we're going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to swap this out for stone for the moment, but it'll ultimately have texture variation that'll be like stone, probably gravel, andesite, stone, brick, cobblestone, maybe a little coarse dirt and regular dirt thrown in, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, so he has all of his music licensed under Creative Commons Attribution, right? Which means I'm totally allowed to use it. The thing is, there's some company called Compass that has basically claimed his music and said, we own this, and we are filing copyright claims on behalf of Josh Woodward, on behalf of this artist, without his permission. I don't know if maybe he had his music added to like a catalog of theirs at some time or at some point or something like that. But long story short, there's this company called Compass that is filing copyright claims using YouTube's content ID system on his behalf and basically issuing copyright claims to anyone who uses his music without actually having Josh Woodward's permission to do that. So my last two Hermitcraft videos had copyright claims, which means I can't monetize those videos, which means I can't make money on those videos. And I don't want to give the impression that the only reason I do YouTube is for money, because that's not true. But the reality is this is my full-time job. This is how I feed my family and myself and pay my bills and all that kind of stuff. And I can't afford to just work for free at this point. Like, as much as I would love to just do absolutely whatever I want on YouTube and never have to worry about, the monetary ramifications of doing whatever I want, that's not realistic. Like, I just can't do that. I need to put food on the table somehow. And when a company issues a copyright claim against a video, you can dispute it, but then they have 30 days to either say we're going to take legal action, or this is not where I want to be. Or is it? No, over here. They have 30 days to either issue, like take the whole process to the next step, or to retract their claim. 30 days is a long time. That means that even though I filed those disputes like yesterday, they might not actually have to retract their copyright claim until September. The reality is, with a series like Hermitcraft, if I'm unable to monetize videos until a month after they come out, that's not going to work. Most videos get almost all of their views within the first roughly week or so that they exist. Usually it's within like the first 48 hours, honestly. But like, I can't do that. I can't put out a video, and I can't put out videos consistently. You know, if I get like one video here and there that has a copyright claim on it, okay, it happens. It's just the nature of YouTube. I can dispute it, and hopefully things will be switched back soon enough. But I can't do that long term. I can't have every single video that I'm putting out be copyright claimed. Like, that just isn't going to work for me. Even though, and this is the part that drives me crazy about it, right? Even though Josh Woodward himself, the artist who actually owns the copyright to the music, does not want people filing copyright claims on YouTube. It's like he's lost control of his own copyright. This company, Compass, has just decided that, we basically own this song now. We can issue copyright claims, and it's on the artist's behalf, but it's really not, because Josh Woodward, the artist, doesn't want them to do that. And he has told them on multiple occasions. I had a problem with this a while ago, and it was resolved back then. And then I was good for like probably a good, maybe even like a year, where I was, I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. But then at some point, something happened, and now they're back to issuing copyright claims on all these videos for music that they're really not supposed to be doing that for. So it's very frustrating. And until the situation is resolved, I really can't afford to use Josh Woodward music in my videos, which stinks because I love the music. It's absolutely perfect for the kind of like vibe and atmosphere that I want to set for my videos. That kind of like acoustic folky background music it's really nice. It's nice to have like, just a little bit of kind of mellow ambience in the background. And a lot of, I've asked many, many times, do you guys like the music? Should I keep it? Should I get rid of it? And every time I do that, I'll do like a poll or kind of an unscientific poll via comments. Always the response is overwhelmingly, yes, we love the music. Keep the music. Obviously there's always going to be a couple people who are like, we don't like the music used in your videos. It's not my thing. Get rid of it. And that's fine. But the vast majority of people who watch my videos like the music and want it to stay. So here I am trying to create these videos like this using music that I'm completely and totally legally allowed to use, right? I'm following the rules. I'm not using like, whatever music I want. I'm using music that's royalty free, that has a license that specifically states I'm allowed to use it. And then even though I'm following the rules, this other third company can just kind of come along and say, oh no, we're just going to monetize all of your videos, take all the ad revenue, or not let you put ad revenue. So they're making money off my videos by claiming the rights to these videos on, quote unquote, on behalf of the artist, even though he has made it clear many times that he doesn't want them to do that. And I'm just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place where I want to use the music and I want to use his music. I love his music, but I can't do it. I can't do it. So until this whole situation gets worked out, I'm going to have to stop using Josh Woodward music in my videos, which is like the worst. That's not something that I want. It's just very frustrating. Because even when you follow the rules, and this is why YouTube's content ID system and copyright system is broken, even when you follow the rules and you do exactly what you're supposed to be doing, right? You can still get completely taken advantage of. Like, even though I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, even though I'm using music that I'm allowed to use, which a lot of YouTubers don't. A lot of YouTubers use whatever music they want, and they'll just edit the video in such a way that it doesn't ping in Content ID or whatever. Even though I'm following the rules and working within the rules of the system as it's supposed to be, here I am getting hit with Content ID claims. And it's possible that Compass could actually take my replies to those claims, right? Like, I'm disputing them. They could take my dispute and say, okay, no, you can't dispute this. We're just going to go ahead and issue you a copyright strike. Then what do I do? Because YouTube will just say, oh, they wanted to issue a strike. And at that point, I don't know what I would do at that point, because I have no control over that. So it's just this, like, the whole system is just completely ridiculous. You know, a system should not exist where you can completely follow the rules and still just get completely, like, shafted. You know, that's the problem that I have here with this whole thing. And there's really nothing I can do about it other than just stop using his music altogether, which isn't, I want to make it abundantly clear. This is not Josh Woodward's fault. This is not the artist's fault. This is entirely on this company. I've spoken with Josh Woodward on a couple occasions. As I said, this whole thing kind of happened to me as well, roughly like a year ago or so. And he did manage to get it resolved back then. And I thought then it was good forever, but because I went, almost a full year without ever having another copyright claim for his music. So I thought it was good. I've spoken with him, and he has made it very, very clear that he is not okay with this company issuing copyright claims on his behalf. But there's really nothing he can do about it, other than just, occasionally. I don't know if I really don't know what he has access to. I know in the past when I've spoken with him, he's been able to get those claims retracted eventually. But it's just the whole, like, principle of the matter. It's silly. It's completely silly. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I guess I guess I do know what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend probably like the better part of 2 days looking for new royalty-free acoustic folky type music, which is much harder to find than you might think. It's super easy to find, like, royalty-free dubstep or royalty-free, a number of just about any style you can find for the most part. But it's relatively difficult to find royalty-free acoustic folk type music, which is what I use. So I'm going to have to spend quite a while basically browsing the internet to look for new music to use, because the music that I was using, which, by the way, I want to reiterate, I'm legally allowed to use. There's a license on his website that says all of my music is licensed under Creative Commons 4 attribution. The music that I am legally licensed and allowed to use, I can't, because of some company that just does whatever they want. And YouTube will do absolutely nothing about it. I guarantee that. YouTube itself doesn't care. They're like, oh, well, don't use copyrighted music. And it's like, you don't use music that you don't have a license for. Yeah, I am using music that I have a license for. Like, you did the grr. It's infuriating. It's absolutely infuriating. And the reality is, that's how YouTube works. That's one of that's like, a day in the life of a YouTuber, right? I'm not the first YouTuber that's had an issue like this. I'm sure I won't be the last YouTuber that has an issue like this. It's more common than you might think. But at the same time, what am I supposed to do about it? I can't do anything other than just not using this music. I don't really know, it's just frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And maybe it would be easier to explain, if, like, I don't know if it's something that a lot of people can necessarily relate to, because most people don't like have to use royalty-free stuff for their work. right? Like, a lot of people don't realize how long it can take to find music, or anything else for that matter, that's royalty free, that gives you what you want as far as, you know, the sort of atmosphere you want to create, that isn't overused on YouTube. You know, like, for example, there's another artist, Kevin, I think it's Kevin MacLeod is how it's pronounced, MacLeod, something like that. Fantastic guy, awesome artist, makes a lot of great music. I've used some of his music here and there in the past, but I can absolutely 100% guarantee you that if you have been watching YouTube for more than, say, a day, you have probably heard a Kevin MacLeod song. It's super, super, super common to find his music. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, the music is good. It fits he's got a wide variety of different styles and things like that available. But at the same time, I would prefer to use music that everyone hasn't heard in somebody else's videos at some point. You know, it's a matter of like, I want to create videos and use music where people are like, oh, this is new to me, right? And I think that's really important. But in a situation like this, what do? I don't know. I mean, and then the other problem too, like I'm sure every time I end up talking about something like the music in my videos or things like that, there's people who are like, you should, whatever. You should do this, you should do that. Or often I'll even have people who are like, oh, you're welcome to use my music. But the problem is like, I need like studio quality music. You know, I need music that sounds like it was recorded. I need music that's recorded with very, very high quality. I can't use something that somebody, you know, put together and just recorded themselves playing guitar or something like that using like a little itty bitty. It needs to sound professional, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. Maybe what I'll end up doing is actually commissioning music. Maybe I'll, you know, the other artist that I use relatively frequently in my videos is an artist by the name of Riness. He's not really, he doesn't really have a huge online presence for his music. He's actually a family friend, someone who I've known for essentially my entire life. And he spent many years as a singer-songwriter and a recording artist. He doesn't really do too much of it anymore. But he's given me kind of blanket permission to use all of his music. And the thing with that is, like, I have all of his music. He gave it to me on CD-ROMs. You know, you can't really find it online. You can't download his music from some website or anything like that. You find it on as I said, he gave me physical copies, like actual physical copies of all of his music that I use in my videos. So that should tell you something about how, like, you know, when I'm talking about using music that is not everywhere all over the internet, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll commission him to make me some background music, like, you know, 2-3 hours worth of acoustic stuff. And that's not cheap. Like, professional recording artists, people who actually do that sort of a thing for a living, when you're commissioning work, especially work that's going to be used in commercial use, you know, that's not something where I would be paying him like $100. You know, we're talking thousands of dollars potentially if I wanted to commission something that's really what I'm looking for. So it's wonderful to find artists like Josh Woodward who have these large libraries of music that you can use that's available for free or licensed under Creative Commons, because the actual cost, if I had commissioned all of the music that I use in my videos, if I had, you know, basically gone to the artists and said, hey, I want you to make this music just for me, et cetera, that's not an insignificant expense, you know? It's a lot of money. So it's like, it's just frustrating. As I said, you know, when you follow the rules and you still end up being put in a bad spot, that's absolutely infuriating. And basically, it's because YouTube's Content ID system, this company, Compass, or whatever they're called, they've somehow been able to put this music into Content ID and essentially exercise control over all of this music, despite the artist themselves, who actually created the music and who actually owns the copyright on the music, despite the artist's wishes. That's what infuriates me about it. You know, it's not, this isn't like a little mistake where someone was like, oops, my bad, it was an accident. No, this is very, like, it's extremely deliberate. You know, I have had more copyright claims in the last couple of days than I have had in, like, the last year of my channel, because I'm very, very careful about the music that I use, and making sure that it follows all the laws and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm going to do, as I said, I'm going to spend like several days probably looking for music to replace Josh Woodward. The intro music that I was using for Hermitcraft, that little intro song, that was Josh Woodward, so I'm going to have to use something else for that. I think for the moment I'm going to go back to the intro song that I used for Hermitcraft Season 4 when I first joined Hermitcraft, which I do love. I do love that song. It's very pretty. But I'm, you know, it's an unfortunate situation, and there is actually, why am I replacing this? This is all gonna I'm gonna want all of this to be stone anyway. I should be replacing the grass instead. But yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation, and there's very little that I can do about it. So that's kind of where it stands. So you may notice some changes to the music, not just in Hermitcraft, but in all of my series. You may notice a lot less Josh Woodward and a lot more something else, which I suppose in some ways is good. I know there's, I've been using essentially the same two, like, mixes of Josh Woodward songs now for probably way too long. Essentially what I did long ago is I took just a whole bunch of different songs that all kind of fit the atmosphere that I wanted, and I essentially combined them all together into one long, like, 35-40 minute file. So it's just one giant, like, mix of Josh Woodward and also a little bit of Clay Riness music. So yeah, maybe this will finally result in the wider variety of music that people have been asking for a while, but it's still frustrating and infuriating that it needs to happen at all. And that's kind of where I'm at. But you know what? I think I've kind of rambled about this topic long enough. I think I'm going to call this one here because I have a lot of music searching to do. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.